Hi guys, welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. It's now turning a little bit into dusk, and it's kind of like one of my favorite times because the workers are still working, just about ending in the rice fields, and the ducks are in the pond down there in the rice fields because now all the water has been put into the rice fields because they've now cut all the rice. So they're now making these rice fields, fertilizing them because that's what the ducks do. So now you know they have ducks because they fertilize, and it's a natural process with ducks, so it's great. So everybody plays a part in this beautiful Bali rice field, and I'm learning so much, and I've got a new fondness for ducks now like I've never had before. I realise how amazing they are, and yeah, they're just so clever and so beautiful, and they're just great. It's a great day today, guys. We're going to talk about something which is really important, and many people send me messages on a daily basis. Please help me, Mark, try to understand why I feel the way I do. Please help me, Mark, why am I stuck in a relationship with my boyfriend? Please help me, why am I always attracting abusive people into my life? Oh, why am I always, I mean, there's so many questions asked of me. Can you help me how I can move forward from this life of leading this job that I hate, and all of these things? And you know, there's kind of like an invisible force out there that a lot of people are not connected to. They're just simply in a low place in life, and I'm going to tell you what that low place is in life, and it isn't anybody's fault why we feel this way, and it's really hard to recognize for any of us, but maybe hopefully when I finish this conversation you'll understand what I mean, and it may like shake you up a bit and say, you know what, maybe I didn't realize I was actually like this. And a lot of people don't realize they have this this really heavy energy that is within them, and it's basically part of their life because of how they were brought up, perhaps, or maybe how they saw their mother and father behave, or maybe certain things happened to them in their life and past life as well that keeps them frozen in this energy. So what are we talking about today? The energy that we're talking about, which is low and haunts most of us, I would say probably haunts 95% of the people. Oh, the water stopped. It's now peaceful. Yeah, it probably haunts 95% of us, and I'm no exception. I'm just learning now, after so many years, of how to overcome that and see my life in a different way. So maybe I can help you with this today, and the hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have come to me over the years with this same issue that they didn't realize. So what are we talking about today? What do we all have? What's 95% of all of us hold deep within us, deep rooted, that keeps us from repeating the same issues and problems? You probably already guessed, right? It's called self-worth, or they're putting in a right context, the lack of, which we don't hold, which we don't have. So where do we start with this? How do we move forward? If we all are lacking in self-worth, how do we shake from that? How do we move forward from all the pain and suffering that we continually let ourselves feel, this same old pattern that keeps coming back to us? First of all, you've got to understand what self-worth is, or the lack of it. But let's first talk about how we can maybe move forward in the art of loving ourselves. And that's predominantly what this is. And you may turn around and say, but I do love myself, I do care about myself, that's why I'm telling you why I feel so bad. No, you're recognizing something that is hard for you to shift, and that is believing in yourself. Am I worth this? Am I worth that? Do I deserve this? Do I deserve that? when you allow people into your life to abuse you, to physically hurt you, to emotionally punch you like a punch bag, the simple explanation is that you are not worthy, or you believe you are not worthy of better or anything better. And there's also this energy as well that you feel that, well, sometimes it's better the devil you know, and maybe this is all I'll ever deserve, this is all I ever will do, this is what I need in my life, this is, and we allow these thoughts that enter our mind that somehow convince us that we deserve this suffering. Even though you say you don't and you cry about it, you've got to ask yourself, well, why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep going back to people like this? A lot of the times when we have a lack of self-worth, we start to then look at other people to try and fix them. And the reason why that is because we're too frightened to fix ourselves. We're too scared to move forward. So it's easier to look at other people and try and fix, say, like a new partner that we've met who's quite clearly messed up totally. So we think we can fix them and make them a better person. That's a lack of self-worth. Did you know that? And the reason why is because if you had self-worth, you wouldn't be going with people who are messed up. You would be looking for people equally beautiful and powerful like you, because you believe in yourself. Therefore, you are looking at your mirror image when you say this person is needs help, and I love him. I know he does bad things to me and he says awful things, but maybe I can fix him. No, what you're saying is you're looking at yourself, seeing your own self lack of self-worth as the person who's causing you issues, and it's like kind of like a mirror image. And we often talk about this energy of like attracts like. So you're going to have to, this is an awful thing, really, what I'm saying. It's awful because what you're saying is I would never hit him. I would never abuse anybody and say awful, so I'm not like him. But actually, there's got to be something in that. It's either you are trying to fix the world because you're not looking at yourself, because you're frightened of looking at yourself and your self-worth, or what else is there? What else could it be? I mean, why would you put yourself through such pain and suffering? So it has to have something to do with self-worth or the lack of it. So to move forward from any kind of situation where you feel sad, upset, lost, should I be with him, shouldn't I, why is he doing this, why am I always feeling sad, that's just one case scenario, but there's so many other cases, not just relationships, but other things, situations in work, family members, all of these things. Why do you feel like that? You feel like that simply because you don't look in the mirror and say, you know what, I don't deserve that. I deserve better than that, and I am not allowing that into my life, and I am walking away from that until I allow what I believe is the most perfect, beautiful love, friendships, family into my life. And until you do that, until you start to recognize your worth, then you will always live in the lack of self-worth and allow these people into your life to test you, to challenge you, to hurt you, till the day you wake up and say, you know what, this isn't ever working. I'm feeling bad. I'm being abused, both physically and emotionally. I am not allowing this into my life anymore. And that's the wake-up call. That's when you hit the floor. And when you hit the floor, the only way you can go then is back up. But you know what? Do we have to go through that? Is the bigger picture that we have to go through it? I've often said to you, yes, you have to go through the pain and suffering to experience it, but how long for? Do you really believe now in your life, truthfully, that you've had enough of this pain and suffering? Because if you have, and you really believe it hand on heart, then you must ask yourself the question, what and who am I? Where am I going? What's my worth? What am I here? What is this for? What's my path? What's my journey? All of these questions, when you ask yourself them, you become deeper in a place, you go deeper into a place of understanding yourself. And by doing that, you then don't become diverted, from the obstacles, the tests that are there to challenge you. So it's up to you, really. You can get challenged throughout the whole of your life. It's really easy. It keeps coming back and coming back. Or you stand up one day, shake off, and say, you know what? Finished. I'm done. That was my moment. I am not going through this no more. And whoever comes into my life, if they're going to cause me pain, suffering, upset me in any way, then that is my indication and my mark that says, no, my self-worth is far more than that. You go and pester somebody else. You go and hurt somebody else. You go and bleed somebody else dry. You go and suck the life out of somebody else, but not to me anymore. So I recognized that many years ago, and then I took a wide berth from certain people that I knew that if I continued in their journey and path, I would still be low. I would feel bad. I would feel ill and really, really, really terrible. And it gets worse and worse. I don't know if I've ever told you the story about, I worked for a guy called Peter Cockrell. He had a company that sold products to Kirby vacuum cleaners. So I started working for him. And he was a great guy, really lovely with everybody else, but to me, not so lovely. And I'd give you a for instance. If I whistled, he'd say, "What are you doing?" And I'd say, "Sorry?" He'd say, "Why are you whistling?" And I'd say, "Why, Peter?" He says, "Nobody works for me and whistles, because if you're whistling, it means you're not thinking about your work." And so okay, yeah, sorry. And then slowly his abuse, clever abuse, and it was his lack of self-worth, his anger with life, his bitterness because he never got anywhere. So now he's taking it out on other people. But me, he was just taking it out on me. So we'd get in a car. I'd be driving the car. I've learned how to drive a car. When you stop at a traffic light, you put it into first gear. Not in his car. What are you doing? What do you mean, Peter? Why are you putting it in first gear? Because that's how I've been taught. You never put it in first gear. You put it in second gear when you set off. And all of a sudden, he was manipulating me to bring me down. And I'm telling you, I'm not joking. These are just two little things. But within a space of 3 months, I was a quivering wreck, ready for an emotional breakdown. And it was only at one point when I said, I cannot cope with this anymore. I cannot cope with it. I walked away from the job, even though I was getting paid a lot, because I was good at my work. I was good at selling. And people loved me with all the companies. And, I'd come back and I'd say, guess how much I've sold this week from London? 2,000? No. 3,000? No. 4,000? No. 5? No. 6? No. 7? Yes. Well, you could have done a lot better. I'm sure you could have done better than that. And it was like every way there was no recognition, no kindness, only abuse. And you've got to recognize that in people, because people who are not stable in their life, people who are not happy, people who look at life and are bitter at other people because they're jealous, because they've done better than them, they will always take that energy out on good, kind, caring people. That's why you're always abused and attacked by people. It's so simple for them, because you're kind and caring. So you have to stand up to that, and nobody else can help you with this. Nobody. The day that you say enough is enough and walk away is the day that self-worth comes back into your life. Once you do it once, it's a snowball effect that you then say no to everybody who even tries to pull you down and manipulate you. And what you start to see then is patterns of how people try to manipulate you. So you have to take the first leap of faith and say, you know what, my life is worth more than being with somebody who is abusing me, and friends and family. And the way to do that is really simple. Ask yourself this question: whoever abuses you in the way they do, turn it around and ask yourself, would you abuse them in that way? Would you say that to them? If the answer is no, then that's your measuring stick to walk away and say, you know what, that's the last time you're ever going to speak to me like that in my life, because I am worth more than that. And you have a serious issue, and I am not allowing you to be your punch bag for your issues. See you later. Take care. Goodbye, with love, not anger, and walk away. And you then start to build your self-worth up. And what happens there then is, I noticed very quickly, I got more opportunities coming in. More things started happening. And I became awake to the power, the inner power, the inner flame inside me that was now guiding me to a higher vibration of life, living in a higher happiness, in joy. And then new people were coming into my life, which were kinder, caring, more loving. Why? Because you'd put the energy out there somewhere to the great big spirit saying, no more. And they say, okay, they've stopped now. Look, they're not allowing it into their life anymore. Leave them alone. So your tests are over then. Sometimes you might get a curveball to see if you're going to swing again, but you say no again. No. And the more you say no, the more you're saying yes to yourself, the more you're elevating your energy, the more you're healing yourself from emotional punch bag energy, the more you're healing yourself from psychic attacks, from people who are sad, angry, bitter. You are now clearing that away because you've done it. You're not doing that anymore. You've passed the test. Let it go. And now you're fully focused on positivity, looking at yourself, loving yourself, giving yourself time, meditating, asking yourself the bigger question, what do I want in life? Treating yourself, even if it's little treats, going out, doing something wonderful for yourself, and really, really caring for yourself. By doing all of this, what happens is your energy shifts and changes, your low vibration disappears, your new vibration comes into your life, and then you start to shine a new light. That new light fires out 1,000-fold, thousands of miles, and then the universe picks up on that energy, and that's when the right people come into your life. The right moments happen when you're in a situation where you think, wow, look what's just happened. The right people who are loving and kind and caring come into your life because you now hold an energy that they can feel and understand and connect to. Like attracts like. So if you are in an abusive relationship, it's because most likely your self-worth is so low that they've knocked it out of you, and that your family keep you frozen in a place because they don't want you to move forward. They're selfish. They're scared of losing you, and so they will try and keep you in this prison. They're invisible bars, but they keep you in there, and you allow it. It's your fault, not theirs. So that's why you've got to change your chip. You've got to change the way you think, the way you behave, and you've got to be strong. And that is what I'm saying to you today. If you ever get upset because of people's nastiness towards you, you are the one and the only one who can fix this. And it's your moment. And that's why you're watching this. So I hope this little message means something to you. It is the start. It is the start of a beautiful life. And I promise you, if you follow through these little steps and let go of certain people, and I know it's going to be hard, but that's the whole point. Nothing comes easy in this spiritual growth of enlightenment. You have to be strong, and you have to learn to ignore the stupid people, the angry people, the people who are lost, and the people who are desperate. You have to step back from the ones who try to take and steal from you all the time, because you must know this, okay? You can't fix anybody. Even if you go and help them and try, it will continue and continue and continue. There is a difference between helping people and holding their hand and living their life. Once you start living their life, then, my dear friends, if you ever walk away from them, it's even worse. You're not here to walk the path of living anybody else's life. This is your life, and that's what's important now. So from a beautiful Bali Ubud, the sun's going down, the bats are now out in the sky, so beautiful. I wish you well till tomorrow. I thank you so much for going to Bajerski.com and buying your crystals last night. Some beautiful crystals sold. Thank you so much. They're amazing. You're going to enjoy them and love them. And thank you for buying your incense sticks, negative energy cleansing sticks, and your oils last night. So yeah, I look forward to doing some more videos on many of my products as well, to help you. Some tips and advice on crystals coming up soon as well. So keep going, and yeah, good luck. Sometimes it's time to take that leap of faith and walk forward in the new direction of happiness, because you deserve it. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye.